Hello everyone, this is Rebecca from Papeterie Schwa and welcome to Wallpaper Wednesday. Today we're going to be doing some fake Glassine bags made from dry wax paper, food grade wax paper. And these two here I made a couple of years ago, maybe even a touch longer than that, when I got my very first jelly plate. And I had the papers, and so I made these on my jelly plate with just some designs that I picked up at the thrift store. I have two of these. These are just little decorative pieces to hold back your curtains. You know, put your curtains in there and hold them back from the windows. That's that. And then I have this little box of rubber stamps, but these are for soap. So if you make soap, you just press this in the top, and then you have this little box, and you put the little decorative thing in the top. I do make handmade soap, but I don't use these for that, but I use them for this. And then I have various other things that I have picked up along the way just to make designs on the paint. An old fondue little metallic flower thing. A piece of an old Christmas ornament that was broken. It has this heart on the back, so it makes a good one. And then this little glass dish that the lid was missing, but it's got this design on the back, a little this part's indented, but it's got these ridges on the back here. And of course I've got bubble wrap and corrugated cardboard. These are liners out of boxes of cookies that my husband bought. And then a handful of other things. So I made, like I said, I made these two a couple of years ago, and then these. This is my very first try doing that, and there's that little heart. But these I made just a couple hours ago, just with some acrylic paint and just a few of the stamps. Now, on the back of this one, I forgot to put the designs on before I pulled it, so it's just a solid piece, but I've got that, and then this one. And this one is a stencil that I made. I have a Brother scan and cut machine, and so the past couple of days I've been designing and cutting out a few stencils, and so this is one of the ones that I did with honeycomb. And so what I'm going to do in this demonstration is I'm going to do a sheet on the jelly plate, and then I have this one that's dry from when I made these three. And so I'll show you how I glue it together. So these are just very simple little things that you can put in your journal. Whether you decorate them or not, with the way I'm doing it, you could still use this dry wax paper. In fact, let me get the box and show you what I'm talking about. So, I picked this up at a thrift store a couple of years ago. It was a brand new box. It had 500 sheets. They're 8 by 10 3/4, and they're deli paper, and it's dry wax, so it's got a coating on one side and then a raw fill on the other side. And so it works really well on my 5x7. As you can see, I do one side, since it's already naturally folded. I do one side and then do the other side. And then I just glue it together and take my little pinking shears and cut this oval across the top, and that makes the little bag. So that's what we're going to do today. And this can be done, as far as the bag goes, you can make the bag out of any paper with the way I'm going to do it. It's just that I'm going to do this to make the fake glassine bags using my jelly plate. So let me get my materials together and I will be right back. Okay, so the colors that I'm using, I'm going to continue to use the same ones I did. This is Antique Gold, it's a metallic. This one is called Vanilla Cream, Woodsy Smoke, and Robin's Egg Blue. And these are the Anita's brand. It's made by Rust-Oleum, and I get these at Hobby Lobby. Just giving them a good shake. Now, I got a little something on my plate there. I'm going to be doing just a one layer of paint, so I'll be putting the paint directly on the jelly plate. If I was doing layers, I would have another something like this off to the side, but I'm just doing one layer, so I'm just putting the paint directly on, and I'm just doing basically a small drop, like in the four corners, sorta, and of each one. And I should have gotten me a wet cloth because I've already got paint on my fingers. So, and I have a bigger brayer. I have a big speedball brayer, but I use this small one for this little plate. So basically I'm just going to roll the paint out. I want it as thin as possible, but with some decent coverage. And I want those colors to come through individually, but I also want them to kind of I'm going to put that right there on that sheet. So this first one I'm going to do, I'm just going to use the designs that I've been doing already, and I just put it right on the gel plate, and I just press enough to give it so that the design will stick. And then I'm going to take this little one and fill in some gaps. And it doesn't matter if it overlaps a little bit. Basically, you just want some design all over. And then, because this paper is already in half, I'm just going to use it the way that it is, and I'm just going to lay it down right on the edge, and then I just touch it enough so that it holds. And if it was regular paper, I wouldn't be folding this up like this, of course, but because I want to use both sides of it, and this is the size of my gel plate, I'm doing one side at a time. Now I have a 12 by 14 that I ordered back in the summer. It was a birthday present to myself. I have not opened it yet, but I hope to get started with that pretty soon. I've got a wrinkle there, but the wrinkles don't matter to me as far as this project goes. And then there's the design. It's a little bit shiny, but I'm going to set this to the side and let it dry. And then I'm going to roll what paint that I have left back on the mat, or back on the plate rather. I don't have a whole lot left on here, so So I think I'm going to just add just a little bit more of these 3 colors. There's enough, I think, of this vanilla on here. But, when I get through this, I'm going to wash the tops of these paint bottles off. They're very grungy, not in a good way. So I just want enough paint to give it a little bit of coverage. And try to get the lines out as much as possible. Okay, so I'm going to come in again with this curtain holder. I know it has a proper name, but it's like a tie back, but it works the same way as a tie back on a curtain. And I'm going to put some designs around and about. Let me do that one again. Okay. So this was, it's almost dry. When the paint is this thin, it don't take long at all for it to dry. Now, when I lay the paper back down, I try to line it up so that it's equal on both sides of the page. And then just press it down. And then it'll pick up whatever paint is there. I did get it a little bit off. So this bag will end up being just a little bit smaller. What I do is whenever it's dry, I fold it and cut it. And then glue the edges. I actually think this side turned out better. I realize that I'm doing some very neutral and translucent type colors, but this is what I wanted. I think I have a project in mind to use these with in the near future. So I'm going to put just a little bit more paint on this. I've got I found 2 old, well, I say old, they were in thrift stores, so I just assume everything is old, but they were placemats that were shaped like a flower or like leaves, or like a bundle of leaves sorta, and it's quite big, and they had all of these little things. So I'm going to pick 2 of these leaves to use on here. Oops, got way too much on that one. And just see how that's going to look. This is going to be very, very juicy. But we'll make it work. Sorta. Yeah, I put way, 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 way too much paint there. But it's blending okay. But it's very, very... Let's see if I can roll it off a little bit. Okay, we're going to go with that. But I wonder if I need actually the more open ones, since the paint is so thick. So we're going to do that and that, and we're going to do this. I'm not going to push it very hard because That's a lot of paint to soak in there, but I want to try to get these central pieces some color into them. Yeah, that's looking okay. See if I can get these now. Now, jelly plates are very fragile in a lot of ways because they are made of gelatin. So if you puncture them with something sharp, it will create a hole or tear it. And of course, you don't want that. Okay, now let me get down here. Yeah, this is my first time using these, so I have no idea how it's going to work. Okay, I'm going to pull it up. Let's see what we've got. Not very much. Not very much at all. So, I think what I'll do is I'll pull these up. And I wonder if I could lay this back down and get a little something. I might make a complete mess of it, but it's just paint. It'll roll back out. So let's see what we get. It can't be too bad, surely. Oops, I just hit my light. It's a little bit of a mess. A little bit. Right, now, I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to lay this down here. And that there. Now, as a friend of mine says, I'm not doing a tutorial on how to do it. I'm just trying to make it, so I am by no means any kind of expert or even that knowledgeable. I think that one actually turned out a little better. But they have to dry, for sure, for sure. So I am going to pause the camera and go wash my hands and put my brayer and these other things just in some water to soak while I come back and do the next step. So I will be right back. Okay, so those other two are drying, but I'm going to show you how I cut these up to make a glassine bag. I've got stuff falling on the floor over here. A piece of paper that don't want to stay on my desk, evidently. Okay, so my little paper trimmer, I dropped it in the floor earlier today and broke it. So I'm using this little bitty guillotine, which does the job just fine. Just my instinct is to go to the paper trimmer, and but this actually does very well for this very thin paper. I found this in a thrift store back in the summer. It's from the 80s, I believe, or maybe 90s. Anyway, it was brand new in the box, had never been used, never been opened, never been taken out. So I'm like, ooh, score. So yeah. Okay. Right, this cuts 7 inches, but I'm right on that mark. So I've got this little bitty piece right here to cut off. Okay, so I can move that out of the way, that out of the way. Now, I want this to be my front. I think I like it like that better. No, I want this to be my front. Yeah, this is my front. Okay, so what I do is the one that I want to be the front, I fold in about not quite a half inch, maybe a little more than a quarter, so 3/8, give or take a pinch. And I fold it like that. And I put away my cutter too soon, obviously. And I did do this earlier today on this, so hopefully I can do it again without messing up. So just put that right on that line like that and held it. But I want to take this away because I don't want to run the risk of cutting it. So I held it here, got it back level there. So, and cut off that little sliver off of what would be the back. Then put that away finally, so when you fold it over, your front has a folded edge and then the back is going to be glued to it. But before you do that, you want to cut just a very small, about the same amount, about anywhere from a quarter to a half, depends on your paper and just, you know, how you want to do it. And I'm doing this by hand, obviously. And then miter your corners on the front, and you'll miter this corner, and whenever you miter it, open that up and finish the cut that way. I don't think mine are even, but it'll be okay. So what I'm going to use is, now what did I do with my little plastic sheet? My goodness. If my head wasn't sewn on sometimes, I would lose it. Alright, so what you want to do is fold it over this way and fold this up this way. And if you've cut it crooked, just make it straight. It'll work out fine. I'm gonna have to recut that one little bitty bit. Now it's funny, when I was doing this earlier today, I had no problem whatsoever. Get on the camera and it's like everything's a mess up. Alright. Now bring that up there because it was off a little bit. Okay. Alright, now the next thing I'm going to do is open it back up, take my glue stick, and just run a little line of glue right up that fold. Be careful not to get it on the inside. Fold it over, make sure everything is smooth. Unlike what I'm doing. Don't do what I'm doing. Make sure everything's nice and smooth. Check out your edges. This side right here is just a little bit more than it needs to be. So, cut that down. I'm going to fold that again. I think I might have made a little bit of a boo-boo, so I'm just going to come up and come all the way across. and nobody will ever know except for the video evidence, right? Anyway, come across this with your glue stick. Now if you're using heavier paper, you might want to use some PVA or other type of glue, but for this, any liquid glue would be way too heavy and it would just seep through, so I'm just using the glue stick. Alright, now to get your top, what I do is I fold it like that and I just pinch it slightly, just enough to give me the middle. One thing to do or be careful with, that I am trying to be careful with, is if you start cutting at an upward motion like this, your bag will end up with a heart shape at the top. So go either kind of straight across or even a little bit in a downward motion to get your bag shape, and then just gradually come around so that you're taking roughly a ½ inch or so off of the top, and then open it back up. You can see I still did it slightly. I think it's just habit to hold your scissors that way, but at any rate, there's our little bag, and it's just a little bit of paint. It's very, very thin, a very thin layer, so it has the feel, the look and the feel of a glassine bag. That if you were, at a little boutique and you bought a little something and they give you the bag and they'd maybe fold it over like this, depending on what it was. You can do all kinds of things with it. You can fold it over, tie a string around it. You can have it full of ephemera. You can make put it in a pocket or anything like that. You can also make them much narrower. You could, I could turn it around and make it a long pocket like that, but I suppose if I was going to sew it in a journal like this, I could do a different kind of paint structure on the front. It's like this. That's actually giving me an idea. You could do a light paint like this, trim it down slightly, maybe give it a decorative edge, and just maybe do it on both sides, and then this becomes a page in your journal. I will keep that in mind, absolutely. Now this is the one I just did a few minutes ago, and it's now dry. Now, let's see the thick one. It's still got a little bit of dampness because I did put way too much paint on. The one thing about this type of thing is really no matter what you do, if you think you mess up, it still works, still does a job. So yeah, I'll make envelopes out of these, and definitely think about that whole page, putting it right in a journal as a writing page like that. That would be awesome, and you could do it on other paper as well. You could use copy paper, so it'd have a little bit a heavier feel to it. You could do it on cardstock and then make envelopes and things like that out of it. So, there's our little bag. I think it's cute, folded over like that. I want to tie a string around it now. I have to put something in it first. Alright, thank you very much for watching this short little project, and I will see you in another video very soon.